Susan Baker, hello. And Gloria, hello. How are you guys doing this morning? Oh, I miss you too, Gloria. How do you guys like the new mic? And Susan, it's good to see you. I think it's the first time you're in the stream. I'm sporting my Adidas shirt. Well, welcome. Rusty Reels, welcome. Great having you. Perhaps I do. Sorry if I don't. What does that mean, Gloria? BC? Music Lover 700. Great seeing you, buddy. Oh, thank you. You like the way it sounds? Awesome. I really can't get the full sound effect of it for some reason. I did a video one. I'm trying to edit it, and I'm using a new editing software, and it's so much better and harder and different than the other editing software I had. So I have such a learning curve. Oh, no, you're welcome. You deserve it, Gloria. You're a good friend. Thank you. So what's going on, Mr. Music Lover? And Susan and Rusty and Gloria? Flame Gamer 12. Hello. Hi everyone. I will be supporting everybody. That's awesome. That's what we need to do. We need to support each other, and that's what it's about. Busy, just a shortcut. All right. That's awesome. That's right. You do very nice crafts. I think I've seen a couple of your videos, Susan. Because for Mora and Mojave, you sort of have to pay eventually to use them to get some of their plugins. So I was using Adobe Premiere Elements. It's a very basic program for like my kind of videos. It's sufficient. So what I did is I bought a Vegas Premiere like Elements, and it is just so much advanced, that program, than an Elements is, and they're basically both on the same learning skill level. But the Vegas is just more complicated and more precise in the cuts. Okay. I'm doing pretty good, Flamer. How you doing? Gloria says, "You're doing great, John. I like your videos." Oh, thank you, Gloria. I like yours too. My camera's up here, my monitor is like in the middle, so it's. You're at 920. Awesome. And Gloria got you, Flamer. I think I'm subscribed to you. Let me check. It's Angela. Hello, John. How are you, Angela? Good seeing you. Oh, not Susan Baker. I'm just checking Flame Gamer. All right. Let me subscribe to Mr. Flame Gamer. Here's a video. I can see what. Oh, Elfish Self. Okay, let me delete the. Let me give him a like. Leave a comment. Great job. And Flame Gamer, I'm subscribed to you, buddy. We're permanent friends now. I should run for president? I don't think I'll win. Hey, you never know. Thumbs up, everyone. Thank you, Susan. Really appreciate that. We have 10 people in the chat. Awesome. We have Susan Baker, Sweet French Channel, Gloria Calizia, It's Angela, Flame Gamer 2, Farmer Gamer, Flame Gamer 2. We already Rusty Seister Reels. And there's other people out there just hanging low. So how's everyone doing? I mean, I started the chat about the national anthem because a lot of people were saying that the national anthem, I'm going to bring it up on my phone, was written by a slave owner. So the national anthem is also called the Star Spangled Banner. So that's how I knew it when I was a kid. So a little history about it from Wikipedia. The Star Spangled Banner and National Anthem of the USA redirect here for the flag that flew over Fort McHenry. So what happened is Fort McHenry was a fort filled with civilians and soldiers. You know, they had some, like militias, because the military is made up of militias. Kelly Reynolds, YT, hello. Good seeing you. And they sent out this man. The lyrics come from, and the lyrics that come from the defense of Fort McHenry, because the Americans sent a lawyer by the name of Francis Scott Key, right? And he was on the ships while they were bombing the Fort McHenry. And Francis Scott Key was from Baltimore. So in the East, there really wasn't that much slavery, especially in Baltimore. So I'm not sure if he was a slave owner. I feel that I'm in school again listening to John. But I'm just trying to make a point that there's no the national anthem does not represent slavery at all. It's pretty hypocritical for anybody to even say that. So these are the lyrics from Francis Scott Key in 1814 and music 1773. So let's see if I can pull them up. This is Francis Scott Key. He's the author of this song. Our national anthem is beautiful for me. I love singing it with respect because it is full of memory of ancient Filipinos who suffers from fighting against the. Right. I actually watched a video on that about how the U.S. Try to take over the Philippines and all that. That's like a sad time in the Philippines. I mean, colonization. You have a country full of islands. So it was hard for all the people to get together to fight people who are trying to invade the islands. And the Filipino are very strong people. They fought hard. And in the long run, they succeeded, But then you don't hear like the Filipinos crying about it all the time. They put it behind them and they're moving on and they're friends with everybody. People love Filipino people. I do. And Gloria is correct. Junkyard, what's up, buddy? Nathan likes drums. Hello. So Francis Scott Key was on the ships, the British ships, because the British wanted the American flag to be lowered, and they said that the only way we're going to um, like bargain with you people is if you lower the flag, right? And Francis Scott Key was on a ship full of prisoners, and they were they were below him, American, prisoners fighting the British. And the prisoners, it said that they were yelling up at him, "Don't bargain with them, don't surrender. We're going to keep fighting." Well, actually, U.S. is one of our friendly nations. We've been colonized by the Spanish. Right, right, and the Americans were there too, fighting, and it's a big thing. But the Filipinos moved on from it. It's not like they're I don't know what it's like in the in the Philippines, but seems to me that the Filipinos moved on from whatever happened to them in the past. That wasn't a really good time of history, and actually was one of the longest wars that was ever fought. It was fought for like 14 years. so that's a long war. And the only war that till for today, modern day, that has lasted longer than 14 years is the war in Afghanistan. For the United States. So the United States was there in the Philippines for 14 years, and they were pretty nasty. It was pretty nasty battles. Soviet Russian. What's up, comrade? What national anthem we talk? Well, you can tell us about the Russian national anthem. That's cool. We're talking about the U.S. national anthem. Oops, I just broke my flip flop. Is this a Nike flip flop? Oh, this thing's broke. So I got to throw these out. Look at that, made by Nike. It broke. Nah, that's not. This is a cheap Disney stuff. Fatso what? America's funded IRA in Ireland blew up men, women, and children in the UK. I don't know about that. I think that the UK, maybe the Americans had a little bit to do with it. You could have a point there, Fatso, but I think the UK probably had their own hand in that. The Protestant side, the Catholic side, always fighting and, trying to take over the island and stuff. So, really, who knows? I highly doubt that the Americans had anything to do with British politics. They probably have more to do with our politics, the British, because, they own banks, bigger banks than we do. So for us to go there and to Ireland is highly unlikely because, that's like their homeland. Soviet Russia. I haven't heard the American anthem, but any anthem to me is showing what the country is and what they do for it. Exactly. Joe Neek Charles 21. Hello. Fatso what? American citizens. Because Boston and New York pretend Irishmen. Yeah. Well, the Boston and New York were pretty much run by the Irish, because they spoke English. So, for instance, I'm Italian, right? So when the Italians came to America, they couldn't speak English, but they weren't stupid. They had a lot of skill. And that caused problems for the Irish because, it's competition. So would you say that the Irish were racist or bigoted against the Italians? Not really. It was just that, they're saying, wow, look at these guys. They make bread, pizza. They know how to open stores, sell. They want jobs, so that's what it is. But now we all get along. My ex-wife is Irish. So my daughter is half Irish and a little German. My uncle married a full German woman, so my cousins are half German and half Italian. So it's behind us, Those were the times. At that time, people felt threatened by people coming in. And then, like, if you were coming off the boat and you were during wartime, they would put you right into the military and send you to battle. So it's not like you came here and you had it good. DJ, what's up, buddy? 14-year-old war is quick. Hundreds of years of slavery is a little different to get over. We have been free for less time than we were bondage. Yeah, you're definitely right, DJ. I agree with that 100%. Slavery was another bad time in American history. Fatso what? Hey, Italian and Irish were rivals. Yes. Well, mainly rivalry like within the gangs. You had like the Italian mafia, they call it, and then you had the Irish mafia. If you want to call it that. Like you had the Irish gangs. So the Irish and the Italians are fighting over prohibition, and they're fighting. That was mainly what the fight was. Like the people who were working, they weren't fighting each other. Maybe in the a little fist fight here and there, but not like they would kill each other. Right? Every country, exactly. Soviet, Russian. Every country has a dark past. Leprechaun TV, Danny Green, Irish Mob. Thank you very much. So they call the Italian the Cosa Nostra, the Black Hand, the Mafia, and the Irish Mob. I think Mafia sounds better than Mob. The Irish, organization. I don't know. Mob sounds a little bit too. And then what happened? The Italians were able to, get an upper hand somehow over the Irish, but the Irish still have, like mafia power. They didn't lose it. Cleveland, Ohio, longshoreman. Yes, that you're 100% right. 100% right. So I'm trying to find this national anthem, the lyrics, and I still can't find them. Okay, so here we go. All right, so it's not there. So I mean, like, if we start with the first sentences, oh, say, oh, say, like, everybody listen, right? Oh, say, listen, everybody pay. That means like, everyone around pay attention. Can you see by the dawn's early light? So can you see what is going on? I'm trying to do this, Caramel 0727. Hello, everybody. Great seeing you, Caramel. Soviet Russian. In Russia, we get called, I don't know what that means, buddy. Carry on, Jeff and John. War is war. Yes, sir. I like your eyes, John. It's color blue. Thank you, Gloria. Oh, could you also play the anthem of the USSR? I will bring back memories. Sure, I will. I can't play the music because I don't think Google might have it. And I could maybe play it off of Google. So then it says, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. So, meaning that, oh, can you see we are proud? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perils of light. So what that means is that the British, I mean, they had hundreds of ships, in the harbor with men ready to invade the country and destroy Fort Henry. So rather than sending the men in, which is very costly, they bombed Fort Henry. They wanted to bomb it into like oblivion. And they were hitting the flag and destroying it. And the flag wouldn't come down because what they were doing is they were taking the bodies of the men and piling them up to hold this flag up. Isn't that crazy? Right? So it says here, gleaming whose sword strikes through the perils of light, a fight. Yeah, because they were just bunkering down, and there was women and children, and they were trying to survive through this bombardment. It lasted all night long. Over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaked. So the ramparts they created like hills, so it was hard to climb to the top of Fort McHenry. And the rockets' red glare, bombs bursting in air. So there was a lot of. They were bombing all night, and they had rockets back then too. They weren't really like effective rockets. They were more like to scare people. Oh, no problem, Soviet Russian. Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. So the people in the fort, with bombs going off insanely, were protecting the flag. And here we have people that burn the flag, step on it, destroy it, because those people understood what the flag meant. It meant that we're a nation, we're a country, we're a people. The flag represents all of us. No one person represents the flag. No, it's not a president. It's not anybody represents the flag. We all represent the flag. And that's what that means too. Gave proof to the light that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the Star Spangled Banner yet wave because of brave men, protecting the flag. On the shore, dimly seen through the mist of the deep. So, meaning like, they were firing through the night and all the smoke, you can barely see the flag, but it was still flying. And it gave everyone hope that the American that America would survive and wouldn't be captured by the British. Where the foes of haughty host in dread silence reposes. So even the people on the ship were amazed that the flag was still standing after the immense bombardment. Don't forget to give thumbs up for John. There's more people in the chat room than the number of likes. Hit the like button. Thank you, Carmela. And what is that which the breeze o'er the towering steep? I don't know what that means. As it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses. Now it catches the gleam of the morning's beam. In full glory reflected, now shines on the stream. 'Tis the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, this is a different song. I'm a dummy. The National Anthem, generally patriot. What am I? Oh, man. During the National Anthem. Maybe that was a song to commemorate the National Anthem. I don't know. I can't find it. Okay, here it is. Sorry. Okay, so this is the Star Spangled Banner. So it goes, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who so broad stripes and bright stars throwed the perils of flight, or the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof though the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Now, a lot of people were saying that, don't forget, I remember putting on my grandpa's red Army military uniform on Remembrance Day, and I was in the rain for 3 hours in Canada, and honestly, I couldn't stop crying. Yeah. That's true. I mean, people like, Soviet Russian, he's an immigrant. I think he lives in the U.S. now or Canada. And, he loves his country, but I'm sure he loves Russia, and I'm sure he loves the country that he's in. And he understands that, people are not to blame for other people's actions. We need to take the responsibility for our own actions. We can't go around blaming other people for the police. I mean, like if Colin Kaepernick and Nike or anybody have a problem with the police, they should directly confront them. Go to them and say, look, guys, you can't do this. You got to have some better training of your men. Thank you all. I see the likes are proportional number. Oh, thank you. Thanks, everybody. So, like, when they say heroes, I mean, we're all heroes in America in a sense. I mean, we're not heroes where we did heroic feats of action or we saved somebody's life, but we in our own self, we all believe that we contribute to this country. How little and how much, that has nothing to do with it. It's that you're still contributing, and a big way to contribute is to just have respect, for people and people around you and your fellow countrymen. Soviet Russian says, I love living in Canada and I want to try living in the USA, but I went to Alabama for a week and I wore my jersey and got yelled at. What jersey did you wear? Right. So Soviet Russian understands that even if he went to another a state in the Union in America, I I am Russian communist and I love America. Even though both sides were wrong in the Cold War, no war needed to happen. I love Americans. Exactly. Exactly. Because Soviet Russian understands that the people in living in the country is not responsible for the politicians, even though like they represent an office, because all they do is the politicians is represent the people that elected them. They don't represent necessarily what we say, because they could go against what we say and vote against us on behalf of something they believe. So in turn, they sort of like lied to us when they were running for office. You know, I'm not focusing on the topic, John. I am just focusing on your eyes only. Ah, thank you. Flying Monkey, hello. DJ, you still there, buddy? You know, DJ, I also like have to say, I mean, I have to say that slavery was a bad thing, but then again, I'm sure that probably the majority of the slave owners were good to their slaves. They treated them good. There was times when I'm sure, like, they did something a little bad to somebody, but in general, they had to be treated good, because if you have 100 slaves and there's only 10 of you, so you better be good to them. Dawson Swords, are you going to Sukan in the future? I don't understand what that means. In the political leaders that cause wars and hate towards certain things, it isn't the people causing these wars, it's government bodies that cause it. Exactly. But, like a lot of times they cut babies out of. Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's sick, DJ. I understand that. I'm with you 100% on that, bro. That should never happen. I mean, abortion is the same thing. They cut babies out of women. It's disgusting. And there are people who are, black Americans, white Americans, Americans in general, that agree with it. They don't mind. They think it's a woman's right to have a baby cut out of their body. So like you can't say that like if you're for abortion, you can't really complain about uh, somebody having a baby cut out of somebody's body, when today it's like a normal thing. And I really don't see why anybody would cut a baby out of somebody's body. But it could have happened. It probably did happen. People back then were sick. I mean, there was doctors out there that were quacks that wanted to experiment on people, and it is just a shame. I mean, it's really a shame. We have postcards of babies being fed to gators. Slavery's over, but we can't let it get watered down. Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I would like, there's I was talking about like the Filipino conflict, that lasted 14 years, and both sides committed atrocities, you know. I mean, what happened during the slave time is really sad, but like, today, we shouldn't, blame each other and hate on each other, because I wasn't there, bro. You know, I wasn't there. I don't know how I would have acted if I was there, but I wasn't there. I mean, I people in America have said they're sorry. It was a sorry time, so maybe people should move on and say, what, I accept your apology. I accept the fact that it was a dim time in this country, and together we should make it better. You know what I mean? Excellent, DJ. I mean, that's the way it should be. But like, where you get Nike, who wants to support a statement of one man, right? One guy, and then say that he sacrificed. I mean, I don't see anything that he didn't sacrifice anything. He didn't like sacrifice anything, or give him the Just Do It award, whatever, if it is even an award. I mean, what did he do that was Just Do It? He didn't win any Super Bowls. He refused a job in the NFL. So he's a loser. I mean, in my opinion, he's like he's a whiner. Oh, $10 million is not good enough. I was making 14 million. I want that extra four, or else I'm not going to play because my pride, where there's people that would die for his position. Yeah, yeah. I mean, people get raped in America. The abuse on children is horrendous. I mean, what people do to kids are probably the worst abused, and that's all races, not just one race. Or kids are the most abused people. Now they have these people that want to legalize pedophilia. That's sick, and that's coming from the left. That's coming from Colin Kaepernick. That's what he supports. You know, his girlfriend actually worked for Huma Abedin, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign finance manager. So, does that have anything to do with it? No one ever brings that up. Yeah, I mean, marriage is it's a sad thing that people get divorced, because of the shit that goes on. People have disagreements. I know a couple who got divorced because they were so liberal that one guy was like, "Well, Trump ain't that bad," and the wife was so liberal that they got divorced because they just couldn't stand each other over arguing over politics. Now that's not that's pretty nuts. Latina abroad, hello. I think marriage is a good thing, and I think like Colin Kaepernick should have stood up for marriage. You know, that's what people should stand up for. Hazy Days, what's up, buddy? Happy birthday. Everybody, I think it was Hazy Days' birthday yesterday. Let's all give him a happy birthday to you. So to say that Colin is a hero is way. I mean, they could have picked somebody, even like a Special Olympic champion. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. Would have been better than him. Not that I have anything against him like that. I don't dislike the guy or anything like that. Oh, no problem, Bane, Steffi. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. Great seeing you again. I love seeing you all the time. So you think about it. KDST, what's up, brother? Good seeing you, pal. So you think about it. So Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin hired this other lady that worked for her. They had a lot of uh, things in common. Okay, I don't want to go there. And turns out that at the time, Colin is boyfriend and girlfriend with her. And Colin did something very special, I guess, to him for his girlfriend. And I don't want to say what that is. So that's why I was led to believe that Colin in initially didn't kneel or sit because of police brutality. I think he did it for other reasons. And then the media made up that story. Well, we're going back to kneeling and what the national anthem really means. And if you and what I got so many like over 2,000 and counting comments, cursing me out, calling me horrendous names uh, constantly. Like So you're protesting because you didn't like that somebody was protesting. Why don't you donate them? You know, a lot of people are like, why didn't you donate them? Nothing say snowflake like throwing your night gear away. Colin Kaepernick, how about donate them? Right. You know, everybody was like, you know, upset that I threw them in the garbage. They're right. You know, and when I did get a statement like this and I responded, I said, you're right. I should have donated them. You know, it is right. You know, make America stupid again. These are just fresh comments. I don't know if you can see that are coming in. You know, they call me a real homeless. Oh, this guy, Mr. Franco, you couldn't even spell my name right. You failed to comprehend the extreme duress that your beloved white America has subjected upon those of us a shade darker than yourself. And he's probably a Muslim because he put that Aslam Makum thing in there. So I replied to him, the country and the flag are not to blame for the actions of men and women. Well, I was going to say of the past and future. I didn't write past. Right, because you know, we're not responsible for anybody's actions. You know, whether it was, you know, in the onset of the country or in the future, you know. The flag to me represents freedom. Exactly. We're all free here. You know, we're free to be on YouTube. Hello, John. Glad you are doing this today. Oh, thank you, Michelle George. Great having you. LeBain says hi, Hazy Days. Latina Bro says happy birthday to Hazy Days. Carmela, I hope people will just respect other people's views about things. We have a choice of what we want to do with our stuff. Right. But like, you know, Colin's view that he led other people to misunderstand what the national anthem is. Because what I told a lot of people in the comments was that the national, like people go to football games, hockey games, baseball games, all kinds of stuff, right? Even Jimi Hendrix at when they had that, what is that called? When they had that big concert in New York. I forgot. If anybody knows, just type it in. Ability of Mom of Two. Hazy Day says thank you. You're welcome. Woodstock, right? Remember, like Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix came out and he played the national anthem early in the morning, right? So what did he do? And no one complained. People stood, you know, proud for the flag. And those are all like people that were technically against the war in Vietnam. You know, and there was probably Vietnam vets there too, or whatever, but no one complained about it. There's no history of it. No one rioted. No one blamed the national anthem because the national anthem represents us all. So maybe those people understood that, you know, if you blame the national anthem, you're blaming all of us. And then at a stadium, when you do play the national anthem, that's the one song out of all the music in the world that we all listen to different music, we could all agree on, we all like. We all stand together no matter what we believe. We're all standing there as a country together, holding hands. You know, we are the world. So when you take that away, what I mean, how are we going to bring people together? You know, like if you bring that out to dislike the national anthem, to stomp on the flag, to dislike this country because of police, you know, of one group, that's not right. What is that saying about everybody else? Like, what did Colin think of all the people that were standing? Iron Dog 63, what's up, buddy? Hey, Miss Steph, how's your? Oh, Steffi's on vacation. That's right. Right, we're all together in that. And like I was watching on YouTube. I was listening to the national anthem. And I did come to tears, you know, a couple of times from it. And the first one I saw was of the one that was sung by Whitney Houston. So She comes up number one on the YouTube search list. It's got 19 million views. That's a lot. So what does Colin think about that? Here we have, Whitney Houston, who was subject from a beautiful woman, beautiful voice. I think she was a mom who was subject to the to drugs, to these people that the police are after, trying to get rid of. So she succumbed to drugs. And Whitney Houston, if you watch this video, it's just beautiful the way she sung it. I mean, it's just amazing. And here's another one, Lady Del Rey National Anthem, 64 million views. That's insane. In 6 years, she got 64 million views. So what does that tell Colin Kaepernick or Nike? Sunshine Cooper, what's up, buddy? I remember being in Korea and see everyone stand up together in unity. Right. During the Olympics, what are you going to do? You're not going to stand during the national anthem if you're American? Non-Americans stand for the national anthem. If I was in another country, whether I liked it or not, and they played their national anthem, I would stand up out of respect for the country, for the people who suffered to make that country what it is. Thank you, Latino Abroad. So then they have here the Star Spangled Banner. Have you never heard it? And this is the one that talks about Francis Scott Key. But I mean, look at the results. Here's one in lyrics. I don't know if that's copywritten, but 4.5 million views. 4.5 million views. 64 million views. So here's one, Boys to Men, National Anthem. That got 30,000 views. And then you start seeing Colin, why he won't stand for the national anthem. I could tell you why he won't stand, but I'm not going to say because, people are going to disagree with me. Here's Pink singing the national anthem. Carrie Underwood sung it, 973,000 views. Fergie, I don't know and I heard of her, but I'm not really sure. 9.7 million views. Somebody should show this to Nike and Colin Kaepernick. Who are all these people that watch this? I mean, were they like leaving negative comments because after what happened in 2000 with Colin and Nike? About my father's work always. The anthem means the continued oppression and murder of blacks. Well, I mean, that's welcome to the screen about my father and works always. I don't agree with that, sir. I really don't. I think that, blacks, they had a bad time in America, and a lot of people had a bad time in their own way too. But I don't think America oppresses anybody. Even when slavery was here, that wasn't the fault of the Americans. That was the fault of those slave owners. They solely are to blame for it, not the country. You know what I mean? The country did fight a war to potentially end slavery and to unite the country. Because the South wanted to leave and become its own country. Here we have Naya Damison, 200, and Mr. And about my father's work. I mean, I just said that here. We have Whitney Houston. She received 19 million views singing the national anthem. Okay, and I said that the reason why Whitney Houston is no longer with us is because of people selling drugs, and she succumbed to drugs. Or else Whitney Houston, a beautiful woman as she was, she'd still be alive today. If it wasn't for drugs and stuff like that. But she was influenced by doing drugs. And what influenced her for doing that? Maybe that's what black oppression is. Drugs are oppressing black people. White people don't oppress. I can't. How am I going to oppress a black person? Like, what am I going to do? There's a black guy that lives across the street from me. He's got 3 daughters. What am I going to do? Go over there and oppress him? There's a black lady that lives next door to me. You know what I'm saying? What am I going to, I say hello to her. There was a guy yesterday doing work in the house, black guy says, "Hey, how you doing?" So I say, "What's up, buddy?" What am I doing to oppress them? I'm not oppressing them. Black people, should start saying, you know what, white people are my friend, like that, and white people should do the same thing and say, you know what, black people are here, we have to get along, and maybe during the national anthem, we should all stand together and um and agree on one thing, and that's the national anthem and the flag. White American slave owners. I don't know if I said that, but you know, those people back then, they're the ones who bought the slaves. And I talked about this before. You are very unaware of black oppression. That's cool. Not your fight. You don't need to know about our oppression. We need to fix. But is it oppression? Is it black people? Black? Is it white people oppressing you? I mean, I would say like if I go to Newark, which is 10 miles from me, okay, and you know, it, it's not the nicest place to be. Is That's not my fault that it's like that. Like I said, like I have black people in my neighborhood. They live right on my block, and we all get along fine. So if you go to certain places, it's not white people doing it. But with the stream is not about like black people. You know what I'm saying? And white people and racism. It's about people being together for at least one cause. That was the whole point of it. you know, we're at a football game, we're at a baseball game, we're at our kids' play, and we should all stand together as a country, as a united people, and respect, at least one song, or have that in common, or even say, you know what, it's the 4th of July, I'm gonna fly a flag, even though uh, that was a bad time in my past. The other thing that I think that, just to get back to that, black people misunderstand, and what it's really wrong, how they generalize black people is by calling them Africans. I always believe that black people should stop being called Africans because, for one, Africa is a gigantic continent and it leaves a lack of identity for Africans. So, like, if you told me, oh, you're North American, like, what am I, Canadian or am I American? What am I? Or you're American, let's say Americas. So what am I, from South America, Canada, Colombia? Where am I from? You know what I'm saying? So black people should say, no, I'm not African American. I'm Nigerian American. I'm Nigerian. I'm Sudanese. I'm this. I'm that. Because everyone else is titled with a country. Like they would say, I'm Italian American. You're Irish American. You're German American. You're this. You're that. You're that. So why are black people, about black Americans, labeled strictly with a continent? That's rude, in my opinion. And black people should probably start, if they want to really find out about their roots, find out where their families are from, if possible. Because now there's a lot of black people here that do come from, like, Haiti and Jamaica and other countries like that. And they shouldn't be labeled African Americans because they're Haitian. They're Jamaican. You know what I mean? They're not African. They're from Haiti, and that's what they should say. Don't call me an African. I'm a Haitian. Don't call me an African. I'm from this country in Africa. I'm from South Africa. So same thing. Black people in America should stop being called Black Americans, to bring them, feeling closer to being with everyone, because I believe they are. My brother-in-law was in Vietnam. He's 100% disabled American veteran, and his best friends were black. When he found out one of his uh, platoon buddies, he was this black guy, he moved to Pennsylvania or another state. And state. And when he died, he was brokenhearted. I mean, he was crying like a baby, So he's not prejudiced. In Vietnam, man, he said we were together. We helped each other out. And when I was in the military, it was the same way. Farmer JT says, I go to school with a bunch of black people. They put sticky notes on their lockers and books that say no white people allowed. I mean, come on, we're not in segregation, right? Right, because things like what Cohen did and what Nike does, they're segregating people. They're trying to segregate us, and we shouldn't let that happen. If you look, Geronimo McDougan's, what's up, buddy? Your own policies will be right. I mean, about my father's work always, your own policies will be your downfall. That could be possibly true. I do not disagree with that, because when like I was telling someone else, they said that, oh, you guys stole the land from the Indians. Okay, if it wasn't America, who would you prefer? Like, who would have been nicer, let's say, to the Indians if they were fighting back, or they were fighting the people coming, trying to get to California or whatever. I mean, because that's how it really happened, the fight, that the not the pilgrims but the pioneers were crossing the Americas to get to other lands, and they would go through Indian territory, and the Indians didn't like it and they were attacking them. So the Americans sent troops and built forts to protect the pioneers going out west into California. Just like we do today, we protect the seas. So merchants aren't attacked by pirates. Not that the Indians were pirates, but that's a whole nother subject. So like for Farmer JT said, I'm sure he didn't mean just to say blacks. He probably meant to say black people, black Americans. He's just typing, because JT's a good kid. That's a form of segregation. I mean, we see it on TV. Like, people want like private space. They want certain people not around them. So it's sad. Because people are creating these problems for us. And people like Cohen shouldn't be praised for causing segregation. African Americans, Latinos, etc. be racist. Right. That's very true. Everyone, in a sense, because of what we see, and people who we see as our leaders are telling us, which is wrong. But the country is not to blame. Like, the American flag is not to blame for people's feelings. Technical channel, what's up, buddy? Africa. The left think they are the only ones allowed to protest. Right. I mean, I'm not protesting. I'm just saying that, if you want to blame me, Colin, or Nike, or whoever supports that, of being part of police brutality, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. I had nothing to do with it. I just go to work every day and try to try to live in America. And I would prefer to see everybody happy. I don't want to see black people or black Americans unhappy, or white Americans unhappy, or Asian Americans unhappy, Latino Americans unhappy. I want everybody to be together. My black family isn't held down nor complain about anything. This is ridiculous. Right, it is. But black people, like, not one of you would trade places with a black person. Well, I mean, that would be impossible to trade places with a black person, because we are who we are, and we need to make ourselves better. We have to make ourselves stronger. Like, whatever happens in our lives, it's our fault. If I lose my job, it's my fault. Like, if I say something stupid, or I get angry at my boss, or whatever, I steal something, I'm going to lose my job. So I have to know that, there are rules for people to live by, so there is some kind of order in society. And we need that. Latino broad crazy about my I'm very well off and comfortable, but I see the reality of other blacks. Well, I mean, is that really a white person's fault, a Latino's fault? Even like calling somebody Latino, it's absurd. Or an Asian's fault, right? Let's say Hispanic fault. Whose fault is that? I mean, when I drive, I see white people begging in the street trying to wash my windshield. I mean, are they considered uh like black? I mean, what is black? Is black, is the meaning of being a black American oppression? You know what I mean? Or is the meaning of black American strength and honor and respect? I think that's what black Americans should mean. All in one, free Muskin Joshi. Hi, how are you, buddy? I'm doing pretty good. Fork tongue devils. Well, I don't see why. I just said, dude, I just said that, rather than thinking black is oppression, is negative, let's make black Americans a positive thing. Saying, wow, black Americans are, you know, are this and are that in a better light than saying, oh, we're oppressed. And, what is the point of that? You can't gain anything from that. If you want to move up in society, you have to have a different light on society in order to move up in society. Fishing sounds like a young thing, not a black and white thing. Young people nowadays tend to have pity parties over everything, no matter the exactly. It's, like it's a shame, but that's pretty right. It's a pity party. And people are feeding you this thing of racism, of this, and like Colin, kneeling down saying America is to blame for police brutality. Like, we pulled the trigger. Like 300 million people pulled that trigger. No, that didn't happen. Apparently, there's something off on there. That haha. I see only blacks being oppressed, being murdered. Blacks, you guys, no one else. It's a shame, that black people, because it's sort of like crime. Like you had Al Capone, they were killing each other over the what do you call that? When they had the alcohol and stuff. Native Americans are oppressed. Blacks are given more opportunities than anyone else. Right. So here we have now Geronimo McDougan saying that he's more oppressed than you, than a black person, than a black American. So, like, when is it going to end? That's what I was talking about. I was talking to these two ladies, and they were gay, right? They were both married to separate women. And, I was trying to hit on one of them, and then they were like, oh, we're lesbians. I don't know. Maybe they were just, messing with me or whatever. But we got into a conversation, right? And I said to them, well, why are you married? Oh, we love each other. So where does love end? Where does the meaning of love end? Where does that end? Right? Think about it. So if I can say, like, I love my fellow man, he's a man, so I want to get married. Where does that end? Why can't I marry? So what I said is, well, why can't I marry my daughter? Oh, you're a sick bastard. I don't want to have sex with her. Oh, you have to have sex. Why do I have to have sex to be married? How does sex, like, constitute marriage? We just love each other. So I want to go to court. I want to get married and leave her my pension, leave her my Social Security. Why not? That's what they want to do too. So, like, where does it end? I mean, you have Geronimo. He has a good point. He thinks he's more oppressed than black people. Michael George, what's up, buddy? My son currently serves in the great U.S. military. He was deployed at the time. All his kneeling was going on. I admit it got to me. I felt my son's service was it was. I think it really was. And it says, hold about Latino abroad. There are opportunities for everyone, anywhere you go. In this country, they talk about oppression, which existed in all American continent. but it doesn't justify living in the past. Right. We have to, we have to think of the future. And we need people like Colin Kaepernick to be positive to his constituents, to people that he thinks that he represents. Because I don't think he represents them, because you can't represent somebody in a negative way. You just can't, because like you just can't. Jerry's woodworking shop. I'm oppressed, so everyone feels sorry for me and give me free stuff. That could be part of the reason, that people feel like that. But I'm sure, that, because like you got to think that people, they get sad because of so many different reasons, but there's a lot of people feeding that fire. So like now we got to disrespect our national anthem because it means that our country is to blame for everybody's misery, and everyone in the country is to blame. So maybe we should all just start giving each other $10 anytime we see anybody, to make everybody else feel good. Crimea River. So what? Some of you need to be beat. Well, that's not the answer. You could beat me up about what is that going to change? You know what I mean? Like, how is that going to make anybody better? Like, you may feel better that, you hurt somebody that you think is hurting you, but in reality, it's probably going to make things worse, because then you're just going to create more hate for more people that, like that person, that are going to think, oh, wow, these people like that. That's not the answer. Like Martin Luther King, he said that, we need to have, love your neighbor. And that's what we need to start doing. We can't say, well, I'm going to beat you into submission. Certain people do that, and you're going to really have misery. Was Whitney Houston forced into doing drugs, or did she do it on her own? Does somebody like approach her with it to control her? You're right. We do. Whites hurt you, kill you with drive-bys, et cetera, kill us and move on. That's nuts. The national anthem is such a very, very complex topic. It is. You can't kill Whitey and still expect him to feed you. Right. Chrissy Scott. Hello, John. Hello, everyone. But that's not what it's about. It's about us. Night Shame. What's up, buddy? It's about people standing proud together during the national anthem and putting everything aside. And perhaps during the national anthem, people are going to say, wow, I'm doing the same thing that guy's doing. And I had bad feelings towards him at one point, and now I feel a lot better about him and her. Wasn't my bell wrong? That's weird. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. JD Knight 7, what's up? The reality is that it's good for you to kill us, but not the other way. But, bro, I mean, I really don't see white people killing white people. You can't say that. And there's a lot of black police officers that have shot, black Americans. And Besuya, hi, bro. How are you? Jerry's woodworking shop, outdoors, haha. New at your life. Well, thank you for coming in. I mean, about my father's work, that's true. I mean, people, police officers that are not white, that are a different, come from a different country, a different background, have shot, their own kind, if you want to call it that. And well, dude, those are corporations. I mean, you can't say that, that's generalized on that. See, you have to make a distinction. What I'm talking about is the general public. I'm not talking about people of power, people of corporations. They're trying to create a product. They're trying to make money. They're trying to keep the corporation alive. So, at one time we had cars that were so unsafe until like they designed the safety board and they made cars safer. So now we have safer cars, and hopefully in the future, the GMOs will be gone, the water will be cleaner, and things will get better. But it's not going to get better if we hate on each other. Because maybe that's what these companies want. They want us to hate each other so they can control us. All in one free mo. All in one. And also about wars. I mean, there's wars in the continent of Africa. Those countries, they're at war. There's tribes there that they're at war. Humans, for some reason they like fighting. And it's wrong. I mean, because the only time that helps anybody is innocent people get hurt. That's not right. And especially in the society we live in. I mean, we have great roads, we have clean water here that we can drink. I drink tap water. I don't drink bottled water. So pretty much, everyone has a right to clean water in this country. So that's a good thing. Let's start with that. No worries, nature's killing you for me. Right. I mean, if nature kills me, he's going to kill everybody. So, and if nature does kill us, we probably won't even know it because it's just going to happen, like tsunamis or earthquakes or whatever. We've seen it in the movies that probably they're sort of right that might happen, but we're all going to go. I am Honduran born, but an American citizen. But even though I wasn't born here, I know about this anthem more than some Americans born. That's great. That's awesome. Latino broad. That is awesome. So now, I mean, Honduras. What a country where a lot of people, probably have it pretty bad. It's not. I don't know if it's that rich of a country, but still, we've heard some things about Honduras, and here we have Latino broad who has an open mind, who has a loving heart, right? Who understands that, I'm not doing anything that somebody else says. It's not my fault. We can't blame the country for the actions of others. We have to just strictly blame those people. So let's say, for instance, if Donald Trump does something, bad towards our country, like Richard Nixon did, then we should blame him. We shouldn't blame the American people. We didn't do it. Let me see. I think I missed. JD Knight, always stand for the national anthem. Just my thought. You're 100% right, buddy. All major diseases come from Africa. Well, that's true and false. I mean, there's other diseases that come from other places in the world, and we have our own diseases. Usually diseases are caused by, bad, dirty water, like the plagues in Europe. They had 2 plagues because of dirty water. So in America, we have clean water. We have, maybe even the polio disease was caused because of dirty water. So now the water we drink is clean. So a lot of the water that people drink that get diseases, and especially like the poor people in Africa, they don't have access to clean water. And in India, in Pakistan, in some places, unfortunately in South America, and probably even in Europe, there's places that don't have clean water, and in Asia, and those people are sick all the time. And that's how like diseases start. It's not necessarily like the continent itself. It's the people in those countries in Africa who refuse to help their people have clean drinking water. Because I'm sure that a lot of times like Americans will want to go there in other countries, not only America, and try to help them, and they don't want the help. They like it like that, and it's unfortunate. It's like the separation of thought that we have here. Like people, thrive on that. They don't want to make things better. They want to continue the hate. Continue the like, oh, you're this and I'm that, and you did this to me and I did this to you, and that has to end, because then we can say, oh, here we are going to make the decisions. Honduran. There's an idea. Whoop, whoop. Yep. Thank you. What a doofus hypocrite. Okay, am I the doofus? I know I'm a doofus. I am hypocritical sometimes, but that's just the way, you got that right, brother. Is beautiful. Move on. No white people like fighting. Exactly. I don't even think black people like fighting. There's black people that you see that other black people fighting, and people are saying, stop fighting. Stop it. But it seems like even with white people, fighting is cool. Like you're tougher than I am. There's bigger agenda going on. Divide and conquer. Obama, not so, buddy. Try infertility in your own women and almost non-existent sperm count in your so-called men. Opioids, cancer, and race mixing is bad for you. Check the numbers. Damn, the truth hurts people. Well, yeah. I mean, chemicals and like cigarette smoking, all stuff like that can cause infertility and low sperm count. Obesity is one of the worst things for sperm count. I mean, you get men that at 350 pounds, that unfortunately they can't lose weight or they can't control what they eat, have probably low sperm count. I'm 100 and I think 90 pounds, and I'm good to go. Like I don't drink soda. I try to not, I try to eat healthy and whatever. I try to not eat that much. But some people, it's harder for them. But it's not white people. It's corporations. I mean, if I owned a potato chip company, you know what I mean? Like I own a food company and I want to sell my potato chips. I need to sell potato chips. So it's you, the individual's decision to eat and potato chips, to eat soda, to eat 3-4 Snicker bars a day, to eat candy all day long, to eat all day long. I mean, that's you on the individual. No one's putting a fork or force feeding you, and that's one of the main reasons why people get diseases and diabetes and they go blind, all kinds of stuff, kidney failure. There's a guy at my job, forget, he's younger than me, and he has like massive health problems because of his weight. Could be, but that's the reason. That's about my father, about the sperm count. That's not anybody's fault. That's your own fault. you know and there's obesity in all races. It's not just one race. Every like you go on the street, everybody's obese. My sister, if she's watching, she's probably gonna kick the hell out of me, but she's not obese, but she got a few pounds on her. I used to, like, I got a little gut. you know I would rather not have it. But if I kept eating all day long, I would get a bigger gut. But in my country, they teach respect for the national anthem since kindergarten. Not here. I work in education here in the U.S. I don't see teaching national anthem. Well, they used to have it. We used to have to stand up, say Pledge of Allegiance, and all of that stuff, and they did away with it. Because there are people here who want to separate the country, and that's how you do it. Almost to ferry, John. We'll be boarding ship tomorrow, though. Oh, awesome! What ship you getting on, Steffi? Oh, I love you too, Steffi. Farmer JT, I grow my own food the most healthiest way you could go, but look at me, I'm crazy unhealthy. Right, but I mean, like, Farmer JT, you're a healthy kid. You got a good mind. You're a smart kid. You're very respectful, and that's awesome. You're trying, and when you get older, you're going to be a great farmer. You're going to be a good man too. I guarantee it. It's 100% rich man versus poor man, not black versus white. Geronimo, black versus white, sells TV viewers like guys about my father's work. They won't make. And right, exactly. The news sells bad news, period. They don't sell, the good news. The good news would be like the news would have says, well, Colin is wrong. He should stand up for the national anthem because it represents all Americans. It represents a time when all Americans stand together as a country, as a people. That's the way it should be. And then when Collins kneeled down and sat down, it wasn't the fact that I was against him uh, having a right to kneel, which he does, but he didn't care about the other people standing. Like he didn't care to offend them. He was only concerned about himself. Okay, great topic, but I gotta leave. Thanks, John, for such a great. Oh, thank you, Latina. Great seeing you, and great comments, and your input was awesome. Thank you. Standing up is actually what Colin should be done. Right? He should apologize. I doubt if he's watching my live stream, but, and Nike, they should apologize. Any company that supports him should apologize. They should say, you know what, we were wrong. Americans in general that work hard in this country, that buy Nike sneakers, Nike products, we apologize. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then like, and then he tried to be like a black American, growing out an afro. I wonder what his hair was like before that. Then he tried to act like that other woman. What was her name? She was pretending to be black, but she was white, and she was like a board member of the NAACP. I don't know how she got away with that, but you know, so he sort of like, Colin was trying to do the same thing just to get more attention from a certain, from black Americans, trying to pee them off, trying to get them mad. Why would you want to do that, Colin? Why would you want, like, my friend here, about my father's work always, I don't know your name, sir, but I appreciate your respectful comments and being respectful to everyone in the stream. That's very nice, and that's what we should be, like that. I mean, what is Colin trying to say to you? Like, right? Think about it. I mean, Martin Luther King was nothing but positive. Always saying good stuff, always saying positive things, and people that came out of like his era, people who were around him are still generally good people who preach good stuff. Who preach to respect each other, and and love your neighbor. Marie Kaplinger, hello. How are you? Yeah, and then I would have stopped eating Oreos. I can't have Oreos, man. See, stuff like that. I mean, they're delicious, but I don't buy them. We have 24 likes. Jerry says, hello, Marie. Marie says, hello, Geronimo. Hello, Latina. Geronimo says, hello, Marie. And I'm good, John. How are you? I'm pretty good. I'm trying to learn Sony Vegas program, video editing. And it's a little learning curve from what I was using, Adobe Premiere Elements. So the Sony Vegas that I have is like the Elements. It's not the full version, the Sony Vegas Pro. Farmer JT, but the confusing thing to me is I do everything so healthy. I grow my own food. I raise my own food. It's healthy way of life, but I turn out ridiculously unhealthy. Well, what makes you feel that you're unhealthy? You look like a healthy kid to me. It's raving. It's raving like Oh, it's raining in Pennsylvania. Yeah, it looks like it's about to rain here. We were gonna go fishing today, but so I bought some sardines in the food market, to use for bait, for the double hook. So then I realized that it was going to rain, but they're like, I bought them at the fish market. Like, I didn't buy them at the bait store, and I cooked them. They're delicious. That's why fish love them, man. It's so good. It's raining. What, Jerry, by you? Craft beer pours. What's up, buddy? I mean, a lot of times just eating healthy is eating less, believe it or not. People think like you need all this food, all these calories. That's not true. That's just the to me, like is the food industry just want you, the more you eat, the more they make. That's why there's so many supermarkets. In my area, there's like 5 supermarkets. Stop and Shop. Uh, there's Whole Foods. I mean, these are huge supermarkets with tons and tons of food and with packed all the time with people. So I try to stay out of the supermarkets. But I gain weight at work because when I'm at work, like all anybody wants to do there is eat. Oh, what are you doing for lunch? What do you want for breakfast? Oh, I'm working late. Let's get dinner. It's like you're constantly eating. I don't think we have a Kroger, but we have Whole Foods, Stop and Shop, Rite Aid. Now they're opening up another German based supermarket company, and there's like another one. I think it's called. I forgot the name of it, but it's a weird looking supermarket, and they're opening that right next to another big supermarket. I mean, there's like food everywhere. Everywhere. There's just food all around us. And that's a problem. A lot of food, a lot of people gonna eat and get, and have health issues. Because like I said, JT, a lot of the times it's not what you're eating, it's how much you eat. So that whole thing of did you really throw those nights out, or was that they were in the garbage, bro. Cara Pagas, welcome. Yep, they're gone. Actually found some more Nike stuff. I found a red T-shirt that I really liked. I mean, I even liked the dry fit shirt. I like that pullover shirt. That's what I like the most out of Nike was like the clothes, but the sneakers, I just don't think they're good sneakers. Portion control, yes. Like this morning I had, my daughter's here, so she was like, "Daddy, I want pancakes." So I bought her a big box of pancakes. I bought sausage, and yesterday we went shopping, and I made her like pancakes. She didn't want the eggs, so I made for myself a sausage, 3 pancakes, and 2 eggs. And I probably won't eat again until tonight. We're going to my sister's house. She's gonna make meatballs and sausage and stuff like that. So, yeah. But yes, Carapate, they're gone, bro. So I have some more. I think I have another pair of Nike sneakers in the garage that my niece's husband gave me, and I gotta get those. And the T-shirt that I found that I was in the wash, so I folded my laundry and I found it. I said, okay, this is gonna go. I'm not gonna keep it. And a couple of pairs of Nike socks. I'm gonna donate them. And I'm not sure I want to make a video of it, but I'm gonna go and donate that stuff. I really don't think that Nike's is that great of a shoe, for the money they charge. Because I said, like in one of the comments from somebody that left a comment on that video, I said, well, you know what? Nike wants to sell a cheap sneaker for $50, where I could get the same sneaker and pay less on sale for $15. I mean, think about it. If they want to sell you a cheap sneaker for $50 that's not going to last, then what does that say for their good sneakers? You can go to a Nike outlet, which I probably bought all that stuff. I didn't pay full price for that, and I probably found them for $24.99, $29.99. If you're lucky, you can get a pair for $19.99 if you find your size, and they're Nikes. So you say to yourself, originally they were $87 or $90, and now they don't fit no more. Because like I said, that one white pair of sneakers, like the heel on it cracked, whatever was in there, and I couldn't walk on them anymore. So why would I give them away? That somebody can't walk in them. Like, I'll be hurting them. So I just threw them out. And the basketball sneakers would rub on my Achilles whenever I wore them, so I couldn't wear them. I wore them, I tried, I figured I got to break them in, they're just hard and yada, yada, yada. And I threw them out too, because why would I give them to somebody if they're going to hurt my feet? You know what I mean? Why would I give them away? So that's why I threw them all away. They all had a problem. There was something wrong with them. Then the size was smaller than what it really was, because one shoe shrunk. The black sneakers that I had shrunk, and I threw those away. The shirts were okay. I mean, they were fine. But like that red shirt that I threw out, it was getting like what do you call it? Like hairballs on it. And I had to constantly clean it, so it was a pain in the neck. So like if anybody would come over and needed something to sleep in, I'd give them that. I mean, I was gonna keep like the shoelaces, but I figured, what's the big deal? Just throw them all out. And I find like other brands of shoes that are better. Like I was wearing Merrell, and I was buying them at their store, and unfortunately they closed, but they have an online store. And I really like those shoes. They're waterproof and they're very comfortable. And I like them. Even Pumas. I found that Pumas, even though they're like flat-footed, very comfortable shoes. And anytime I put them on, it's like limousines for the feet, and they look good. I bought a pair of like ugly, like bluish green ones, and the only bad thing about those sneakers is the color. But like the gray ones I have and the black ones I have, they fit great. They fit better than Nike. And the Adidas that I bought fit better than Nikes too. Jerry says 90% of people wearing Nike shoes probably stole them. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. I mean, you and then like if you go to Adidas, the vets, they give you 20% off. So when I went and bought my Adidas, actually what happened was I was with a friend, and she was from Colombia, and she wanted to go shopping. Now, I didn't understand what she meant. She goes, "Oh, I want to go shopping." I said, "All right, I'll take you shopping." She says, "You want to go to the outlets?" She's like, "Yeah." So we go to the outlets, and I had my Subaru, the Outback. So we go down to the outlets, and Adidas, they had, big sign, 50% off. So I was like, "Let's go check out Adidas." So we go in there, and she must have bought out half the store. Because she was, and then she told him I'm going back to Colombia. So she's taking all that stuff back to Colombia. So I told the guy, "Here, and I showed him my card. I says, here's and he gave me 20% off for her stuff." So she wound up buying like $1,000 worth of stuff or more, and paid like $360. That's a bargain. She had like, I don't know how many pairs of sneakers, all kinds of clothes. So like my sneakers, that was the only pair that fit me, because I don't like running shoes. I like cross training shoes like that, because the running shoes is just cheap rubber shoes that really are not comfortable. And that's almost what I threw out with the Nikes, are sort of like running shoes, and those basketball shoes are terrible. And I got them for $16. and they're like the best pair of sneakers. I love them. They're awesome, and they had a little arch in them, a little bit of an arch, where Nike's sneakers technically don't have an arch. And then the other shoes I like is Merrell. Like I think I said that, and I was trying to find a pair of Keens, but they're very expensive. And Columbia makes sneakers, and in the wintertime I wear Timberlands. So like when I'm out, like when it's cold out, I wear boots all the time. I rarely wear sneakers. And then I think I have a pair of Skechers that are black leather, like sneaker type, and that shoe held up a lot too. And my Timberlands are great. Like those are the best. Those are very comfortable. I like them. So in the winter, I really wear sneakers anyway. And then when it's really hot out, I'm in flip flops either way. But at work, I'm not allowed to wear flip flops in the office, or else I probably would. But those sneakers are overpriced. So like if you're gonna sell somebody a cheap pair of sneakers that are not gonna last, that means the other sneakers you're selling are not as good. Why would you sell somebody who can't really afford sneakers and they want to buy your brand because you have sold it to them through Michael Jordan, through Colin Kaepernick now, through a lot of other stars, because sneakers like Merrell and Keen and Timberland, they don't advertise, because they sell based on quality. They don't sell based on like what star is wearing their shoes, you know, like that. They should base their sales on quality. Because if you buy like a $19 pair of Nikes, they're garbage. Garbage. They're like the cheapest shoe you could imagine. You could just might as well go to Payless and try to get the same pair for $10. Because that's what it is. What car do I own? I have two vehicles. I have a Lexus GS ES 350, a 2013, and a Subaru Outback 2012. So my Subaru, my nephew just fixed it up for me, and I'm gonna be driving that now to work and stuff. And then the Lexus I had for a long time, and I have both of them. What do you drive? I owned a lot of cars. Yeah, I really like them. Just they're both great cars. They never left me stranded, either one of them. Well, I can't say that for the Outback. I got stranded with that because of something, but that car has 170,000 miles on it. I bought it with 97,000 miles on it, so I drove it 70,000 miles, and it never left me stranded. Because until it started needed maintenance. Yeah, Lexus is very nice. Like my Lexus has, like I bought it with 114,000 miles, and now it has 124,000 miles, and I just changed the oil, and it was like brand new. The car's really nice. Still drives like it came out of the. I did a video on it. Still drives like it came out of the showroom, and the ladies like it. Those are some really. Thank you, Carapagas. Thank you. They were cheap. I didn't pay a lot of money for them. So because it's like, some of my friends, they own brand new cars. They spent $50,000, $60,000. Like my nephew just bought a Cadillac. He paid $60,000 for it. I'm like, dude, you're out of your mind. 60 grand. And he traded in a car that he just bought like a year and a half ago for 45,000 and got 30,000 for us. I says, dude, you lost $22,000 in a year and a half. You're crazy. Oh, that car I couldn't get by. Right, look, you want to buy it? I mean, the Cadillac he bought is a beautiful car. But so my cars, between the two of them aren't worth the value of his Cadillac. So like I have the Subaru that has a hitch on it, and if I want to go bike riding or do anything like that, I can use that. So I figured, I'll get two of them rather than buying like one new car. And the Lexus is nice if I want to go at it. It's good enough. I like it. It's front wheel drive. The Subaru's all wheel drive. So that's and the insurance is not that much more than having like a really expensive car. So when I did get because I just got the Lexus, when I got that, my insurance went up like 300 for 6 months, which is a lot of money to some people, but in beast junk mode, in beast mode junk removal. Night just made me the biggest fan. Well, that's cool, bro. I mean, I just don't feel that, Nike is right in supporting someone who wants to tell people that, oh, you shouldn't stand for the national anthem because it represents oppression, or it represents the police, because the national anthem doesn't represent anybody. It represents us all as a country, all as one people, because we all live here, and we're all here to keep our country, America, without being, politically invaded or militarily invaded by anybody. Because when we start breaking down our own uh, flags and our own unity and our own solidarity or our own patriotic ness, we're gonna lose in the long run. And all these people complaining, they're gonna cry because they're gonna lose too. Farmer JT, okay, I'll be right back. I got to get a handful of cookies, to cherry cokes, 3 slices of pizza, and a big bag of potato. Oh, okay, JT. What are you having, a party? And I wasn't invited? Come on, bro. Dane Phase 2. What's up, pal? Welcome to the stream. Farmer JT says, hey, Aiden. Marie Kaplinger, hey, Aiden. It's our flag stand. Right. Exactly. We need to, say the flag means something. It means good, because the flag flies in other countries. So when we don't respect the flag, how are other countries going to respect us? Well, how are other countries going to respect us if if its own citizens can't respect the flag? Forget about the president, Trump. Like, if you don't like Trump, that's fine. You don't have to like the president because he's going to go one day. Flag is always going to be here. Think about it. You could hate Donald Trump. You can hate Hillary Clinton. You can hate the police. But those cops, those police officers that did those bad things to those people are going to be gone one day. But the flag is still going to be here. That's the other thing we have to remember. And so is our national anthem. And the more we fight against our own country, we're fighting against ourselves, because someone's going to come here and reap the benefits of our own demise. Still don't know why I'm not healthy. Farm JT, what does that mean? You're not healthy? Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. What? We're going to read it. Well, I'm back. Hello. Okay, let's see what I missed. Former JT, no, John, it's a joke to go with the other comment. Right, right. Yeah, right. If you eat like all that food, you're gonna definitely feel sick. Oh, thank you, Marie. Right, Aiden, working man. Everybody in this country works. Even Colin. He's a working man. Whatever, he does now, it's he's working, and everybody works. That's what it's about. We all need to work together to make things happen. I'm the liberal. Yeah, like liberal means I mean, I don't even know what that means anymore. It's just absurd. I have a working man. Yeah, that's good. What is your job? They are against the working man. Yeah, I mean, they I mean, like I was talking, like I was saying before, like Colin comes from uh recently. Nat is like, I'm not gonna go into like his whole history of childhood and stuff, but we kind of know. But he comes from his ex girlfriend or girlfriend worked for Huma Abedin, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign finance manager. So we know like where she was getting all her money from. So when he started doing that, taking a knee and all that, I was led to believe that his motive wasn't um, what the media portrays it to be. So if you get my drift, so if you put the puzzle together, like, because then Colin recently had a life, like he did something that changed part of his life, you know, to appease his girlfriend that has the same background as Huma Ahmed did. So we know that those people have certain beliefs that they shouldn't uh, pledge any faith to any government or any religion. So I mean, put the puzzle together if you follow my drift. And even if there's any black Americans out there still listening in, put that puzzle together. And let me know what you think. They are against the working man. Well, I just think us farmers like me and Aiden view people a little bit different. Right, of course. Of course. I mean, like farmers are like fatherly figures. Because like, the father puts the food on the table, and the farmers provide the food. You know, they sort of have like a lonely job too. They're sort of like the bus drivers. They sit in the bus by themselves. The farmers are out there working the field. They all take a job and they go off. It's a tough job. And we all need respect for working hard for whatever it is that we do. Me and farmer JT put food on exactly. I agree with that. A lot of us, like, a lot of farmers, like JT said, that he's self-sustaining. A lot of people can't do that. Where am I going to grow food in my apartment? I have one plant. I can't eat it. And it pretty much takes care of itself. Right. So, like, we respect farmers, and there are all kinds of farmers, all different backgrounds of farmers. Farming today, like this micro farming and all that stuff, that's a new thing. That's up and coming because, people are starting to see that, food is, like commercial food is a health issue. There are people protesting while we work and almost kill ourselves for people. Right, right. My cat eyes my plants. Yeah. Oh, your cat eats your plants? So let's see if I got any new comments. I mean, I've been getting good comments too. Like, so a lot of people saying like, if Nike shoes are so uncomfortable, then why did you buy them? I mean, we buy stuff that are uncomfortable. Hello. Oh, so here's someone. I agree with the last part of your speech, but my fellow citizen, he's not protesting you. When someone kneels during the anthem, he's signifying distress. There's a lot of distress in the country due to racial divides, police brutality, etc. I don't take offense to his actions. I fought to defend his right to choose. If you force someone to do something, how are you any different than the communists? Yeah, exactly. Farmers with different background see Aiden grows rice, and I'm here out here growing alfalfa. Hey, put beef on. Right, right. So, like, farmers are helping farmers, and vice versa. You know. So this guy, like this viewer, Sean, you know, like he's falling for the pitch that the police represent the country, so they don't. That was the whole what the whole video was about. Like, we're not at fault. The if I told a lot of, like, I'm going to tell him, if Colin and Nike have a problem with the police, they should address the police directly. Colin could have simply went on the View, right? He could have went on national TV. He could have wrote an article and paid and had it posted in the New York Times. He could have wrote an article and put it all over the internet. He could have wrote an article and put it on his Facebook page, um his Facebook page. He could have made a YouTube video about it. But he didn't have to, like, say, well, I believe that the national anthem disrespects is the cause why these police are causing the deaths of these people. That's completely wrong. That's completely wrong because the country is not pulling the trigger. No one's telling those cops. Those cops are trained, are told, do not shoot anybody unless you have to. So if they shoot somebody by mistake, like I said in the video, if you're in front of them, why were you there? And again, like, police have authority. You have to respect that authority. That's why they have a badge and a gun and a club and handcuffs and all the backup they could possibly want. So, be smart about it. Yeah, exactly. Farmers. Yeah. I mean, why would you even consider getting into a confrontation with a cop that has a gun, that has a badge? You're going to jail if you hit the cop. Even if you're innocent. You could be innocent and fight that cop and you're going to jail. So, like, we're defending, people who can't see that. Like, when are you going to realize that you shouldn't fight the police? Like, Colin Kaepernick is fighting the police, right? And he's telling us we're all to blame for it. That's what he's doing. And he's not physically fighting them. He's causing other people to fight them, causing them harm. So what good did Colin Kaepernick do? He didn't do anything good. Dick Douglas, the guy sounds a bit like Christopher Walken. Me? Oh, thanks. I like Christopher Walken. He's a pretty weird dude. Oh, thank you. Well, welcome to the stream, Dip Chugles, Chuglas, Dip Chuglas. Did I say it right? Right? I mean, like, what does this guy think that I was in the military? Thank you. Anybody who says I was in the military, I say, thank you for your service. And I wasn't disrespectful to anyone. If there was a comment that I really thought that was absurd, I deleted it because it's just it's just a dumb like heavy profanity. So this one guy says, "You're stupid. Thanks for promoting Nike." Well, guess it's fine if the police discriminate black people. I mean, a lot of times, I told a lot of people, how do police discriminate black people? I mean, it's a fact that more white people get into fights with police than black people and are shot by so like black people. But that doesn't make it right for black people to be shot by police. Colin Kaepernick should have a firing squad. Right, but we're trying to prevent violence. We're trying to get Colin to apologize. And Nike. And say this country is great. We didn't understand that when you kneel for the national anthem, you're actually blaming innocent people that respect the flag for what it does for them and what it does for everybody. If you hate Nike so much, why did you have so much of the brand? Idiots. I'd rather burn that stupid striped flag. And he has a picture of the Last Supper. I can't really see it. I'm not going to go out of my way to go to this page. Just like when people burned Colin's jersey, you still bought the gear. They have your money. Well, I bought all that gear before this happened. That's old stuff. I just stopped wearing it. So it was on my shelf, and I just took them. This is good, and I have room for more stuff, or new stuff. You're saying that Colin is being disrespectful to veterans. I never mentioned the word veteran, never once. Well, this guy wrote a lot. You still bought the gear, veterans. There was a veteran by the name of Walter Scott who was killed in cold blood by police. I don't hear you or anybody else talking about a veteran being killed. You didn't say dang word, but when it comes to this protest, you want to come out and say that it's disrespectful for veterans when there's hashtag called veterans for cap. It's not about the national anthem or the flag, and you know it. Yeah, you want us to stand up for the flag, which is made in China, by the way. You fools don't even know your own American flag. If you're so patriotic, why are you making American flags in China? Why don't you answer that question? And your statement, why don't you leave? So basically, what you're saying is if Colin doesn't like the oppression, if he doesn't like the murder, if he doesn't like the racism, if he doesn't like the celebration of black pain, sadness, and death, because it does get celebrated here in this country, if he doesn't like all that, then he needs to leave. Meaning me. I got to leave because I don't like it. Or he doesn't like it. Yeah, right. He doesn't like it. That's basically what you're saying. But boy, why don't you leave? Why don't you go to Europe? I would love to. I had a problem with that because I told my daughter I was going back to Italy and she took it to heart and she freaked out. Her mother was like breaking my chops. Why'd you say that? I said, why don't you just tell her he was only kidding and you sued the situation? So she like made it worse. Why don't you go back to the cave? I don't know. Everybody's saying like I guess I don't know, Neanderthals or who was it that we used to like European, not Neanderthals, but not like, so we're talking about when they say go back to a cave, they're talking about like um, evolution, right? So they're saying that people lived in caves. Everybody lives in caves. In some African countries, people would dig, you know, um, caves out of the ground. I mean, that's ridiculous. Living caves. That's a good place for you, the cave. I would mind living in a cave. It's probably be cool. Be cool all the time, right? I'd have bats, bears living in there with me. Why don't you leave so people like Colin and myself don't have to deal with hateful people like you? So, I mean, quick questions: does the USA have mandatory military service, or is everyone here in the military is volunteer? Well, the reason why we don't have a volunteer service is because politicians and certain religious groups don't want to have their kids go into the military. That's just what it is. Because during Vietnam, a lot of these rich families, kids were drafted. And a lot of like George W. Bush, he was drafted into the National Guard. 'Cause that's impossible. You can't get drafted into the National Guard, but he went into the Air National Guard. And George H. Bush's vice president, same thing with him. He was drafted into the National Guard. He never went to Vietnam. And a lot of those people, were got deferments like Dick Cheney and, probably Donald Trump. He didn't go to Vietnam because of whatever reasons, whatever. There was a lot of reasons why they didn't go to Vietnam. So after Vietnam, not like World War II, where a lot of people went to fight. They were patriotic. Where during Vietnam, a lot of people weren't patriotic anymore. That's people started losing that patriotism. Found ways to get out of the military, like saying that you were homosexual. And actually, when you were like if you told them you were homosexual, the doctor would check your anus to see that you were in fact homosexual. So I don't know how that flew, or what guys did to get out of Vietnam in that stand, So like this guy's trying to say, like he said, name Walter, like a veteran and all. I mean, he's on that side that believes that we should be separated, that it's them against us because of Colin Kaepernick. It's like he's saying he's so for Colin hating this country that here we have a guy who knows how old he is, and he has he's very emotional. He's very heartbroken about this because look at this long comment he left. I don't know if you can see that. Look at this long comment. Look at that. I mean, he's crying inside, this poor guy, because he doesn't want people hating each other. He believes that, white people or people that are not Black Americans are to blame, or causing him pain, which is sad, And all of this angers due because of Colin Kaepernick and Nike supporting this ridiculous cause that America is to blame for your pain. Rather than telling people it's your fault that you have problems. That's the way it should be. But anyway, guys, I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm just going to call off who I see in here. Farmer Game 12, Gloria Kalitza, It's Angela, Music Lover 700, Rusty Saiter Reels, Susan Baker, Sweet French Channel, Farmer JT, Dip Kugels, Aiden Faz 2. You're going to get some shout outs here. Cara Pagas, LeBain was here. The Beast Mode Junk Removal was here. Jerry's Woodworking Shop and Outdoors was here. He's a veteran from Iraq. So hoorah for him. He served. That's, Iraq was a beast. Craft Beer Pours is here. Mrs. Craft Beer Pours is here too. Marie Kaplinger is here. Carolina McDougans. Geronimo McDougans. Oh, that's Geronimo McDougans. I mentioned about Latina Abroad was here. She made very nice statements. And so did everybody else. Thank you. About my father, work always, very respectful man. Had very good things to say. And Besuva, All in One Free Music, Joshi. Nightshame was here. He said he didn't ring my bell, so he rung my bell. Ring my bell. JD Knight 7 was here. Chrissy Scott was here. And if I missed anybody, I just thank that you were here. Fishing and Stuff was here. Almost at the end. And everyone who hung in for the whole 2 hours, I would stay more, but I have to tend to my daughter. She's not feeling well, so I have to lay in bed with her. And if anybody's not subscribed, please subscribe. Sunshine Cooper was here. She's a musician. Iron Dog 63. He's been sick lately, so he's been live streaming. Probably not feeling well. Ability of Mom of Two was here. Caramel 0727 was here. Hazy Days was here. He just celebrated his birthday. Michelle George was here. Gloria Kalitza, we mentioned beautiful Gloria and LaBaine. KDST was here. And DJ was here. DJ's been coming into the stream a lot. And that's cool. So thank you, everybody. Have a great Saturday, a beautiful Sunday. And let's go into Monday with open minds, with open hearts and open arms. Let's hold doors open for people. And let's try to show people that we respect you and we have a lot of love for you. But that's the only way we're going to probably get people to realize that we are all in it together. And we need to stand for the national anthem and salute the flag. And people wave, get a flag, any kind of flag, and put it outside your house if possible. But thank you very much. I might come back on tonight. My daughter falls asleep because we're not going out. She's not feeling good. So I'm going to be home all day, and I'll probably want something to do. So I might come back. So thank you very much, and peace out, and God bless you, and have a great day.